Sorry, you begin.
So the Miami Grand Prix is over, and the winner is Lando Norris. Much to my surprise, anyway, but he's an emerging talent. We expected him one way or the other to win one of these Grand Prix. In fact, I heard it was the 110th attempt to win the race.
Yeah,
This evening is Mustafa, Biodu, and Kule. You guys are very welcome.
Okay, thank you. So, Afolabi, you guys know because for weeks I've been saying one day Norris will be champion. I think he will win one championship before he passes away, and he got his first victory. To be honest,
it was the timing of the yellow flag that won him that race. I think.
Yeah, I was going to say. So, Kuna, you can continue, but I was going to say that there were mitigating circumstances. It was the yellow flag, and it was the strategy. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
First of all, I don't like.
I was going to also say that Hamilton had done. What's going on?
Hold on, what did you say?
I was going to say that Lewis Hamilton had done very well this last race. He was a bit unlucky that he just missed that yellow flag because he started on hard tires. He came in, I think, on the 25th lap on his hard tires. If you had come in 2 or 3, if you had done stayed up for 2 more laps or 3 more laps, I think you'd have been able to take advantage. And you see, taking advantage of that gives you a 20. Instead of your pit stop, you lose 21 seconds.
Yeah, but, Verstappen lost about 30 seconds due to that.
Pitting on a yellow flag, then it's only But if you're pitching on a yellow flag, you only lose like 10 or 11 seconds.
Yeah, and he also he had new tires.
10 seconds.
He had fresh tires
behind Lando Norris, which means he could have had a podium finish.
Yeah. So because Kunle, before we go back, to what you're saying,
if you had been lucky enough to stay out long enough.
Yeah, Kunle, before we go back to what you're saying, what were you going to say? Let's get Bill and we'll go back to Kunle. Yeah.
I wanted to say that we didn't start the show properly. We should all be smiling. Finally, somebody won a race aside from
Max Verstappen.
Now everybody's laughing.
Remember Eddie Murphy? Hercules. Lando Norris.
Finally, that is what we want to see. We want to see a competitive sport. Can't you see how excited we all are?
Yeah, but you know what? You know what's funny? He wasn't upset. Verstappen wasn't upset because it wasn't Hamilton or Alonso, people that he's afraid of. You know.
Like Kule said, Kule was spot on. I think it was quite an interesting race. But to be fair, I think Red Bull are aware that McLaren is catching up to them with regards to pace. And I think Kule was spot on with regards to the virtual safety car, the yellow flag, and the timing was perfect. Actually, when Lando did not pit during the first virtual safety car, I was kind of scared that this was a good window for him to have pitted, and he didn't pit. Yeah. So I was quite worried that they've gotten the strategy wrong. But lucky for them, after the third lap, I can't recall the driver that crashed out now and was able to pit under the virtual safety car.
I can't remember who it was.
So that was
Logan Sargent. Logan Sargent crashed out.
Yeah, but
he went into Magnussen. He went into Sainz. Sainz got I'm not sure which of the incidents it was. Was it the incident with Sainz where he got a flat, or was it the incident with that reckless guy?
I don't think it was Sainz because Sainz did well.
Magnussen.
Yeah, I think it was
Magnussen was a maniac. Again.
So guys,
before maniac all weekend. In fact, that ass was a maniac. The 2 asses were maniacs in both races. Yeah. They were cutting corners. They were speeding in the pits. They were crashing into people.
They learned from Schumacher.
Yes, I think they frustrated Hamilton because I think that's why Hamilton didn't score in the sprints.
Yep.
He had a
10-second
penalty because he was in the pit lane.
So, guys, I hate to interrupt.
I heard the commentary say that's just a fine, and then they turned into a 10-second penalty. How did that happen?
That's rubbish.
Anybody get that part?
No, I didn't see that part.
Magnussen did it. Magnussen did it to hold up Hamilton during the sprint. Didn't you hear what he said after the race? That he needed to hold Hamilton so that his teammates could score points.
But Magnussen also cut a corner and he didn't give back he should have given back the position.
Yeah, they not give it a 10-second penalty. but he didn't benefit. He didn't benefit Lewis at all.
He didn't care about the 10-second penalty. He just ruined Hamilton's race. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, that's what he wanted to do. But guys, can I add something? Please let me add something. Right. We have to remember that before the advantage to I keep saying Norris. Yeah, Lando Norris. I keep on saying Lance Stroll, Lando. Before that, Piastri, who's also with McLaren, right? Yeah. It looked like Piastri might be able to beat Verstappen, which shows you there was a speed advantage. But a lot of people are saying Verstappen had his wings on because he was having balance problems and he needed more tire management. Yeah, that's what I've heard. But either way, McLaren has increased in top speed. Bearden, what are you going to say?
I think
Piastri had a problem with his front wing, I think, so he went in for a long 10
seconds. But before that, he was pushing Verstappen. So that shows us that. So a lot of people are saying that is because Verstappen had wings on because of his tires. I think what they're doing is they're trying to mitigate the fact that McLaren is getting better. And this is what I've been saying all year. You can attest to that, Bearden. I've been saying that McLaren has the best work ethic. And they're getting better.
Verstappen was also complaining about his car. He was complaining there was something wrong with his car during the race also. He wasn't
But
he was also saying there was a balance problem. Yeah. So Bearden, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think to be fair, since F1 introduced the ground effect regulations in 2022, you can notice that Max has really struggled to outpace his other opponents in racetrack. I think what really happened in Miami was simple. The tire choice that Pirelli brought into the race played a factor in the race. And you could see several teams and several drivers struggling to get the best performance out of the tires in the race. And you could see the temperature was really hot. On average in Miami, it was relatively around 50 degrees Celsius. So the track was getting hotter and hotter, and the straight line speed and corners in the track was quite difficult for the drivers.
Maybe I'm wrong, but there's something about McLaren. McLaren brought upgrades, and they struggled during the early practices because of the upgrades getting used. Do you think that they may have better tire management now, not just due to their drivers, but to their whole system?
Yeah, very good. You're right. You're spot on. I think the upgrades McLaren brought into the race, actually, the McLaren car is designed to help tire temperature, improve tire temperature.
Give me credit. I did my homework. Thank you.
In comparison with Red Bull car, you could see that Lando Norris has the full upgrade from the McLaren vehicle, but his teammate Oscar Piastri already has part upgrade, but he'll be coming into the full upgrade in the next race in Imola. You could see Lando, they changed the new front wing that helps the airflow. They also changed the front wing and changed the bodywork and the engine cover, which has helped reshape the cooling section of the cars. So, and they've also ran a smaller rear wing in the McLaren vehicle. So that all those upgrades actually came into play into Miami, and you could see that even before Lando took the lead in the race, he was matching Max and even outpacing Max.
Yeah, and I think, like we said, those upgrades.
When there were free flow on traffic, there was no interruption. It was actually matching Max and even outpacing Max in lap times during the race. So those virtual safety cars just played into his cards, and he just delivered the results.
So guys, you heard this from our genius Bearden. I had the intuition, but he had the technical analysis, and that's what we're seeing, and that's what you're seeing from Formula One fanatics. Now we're going to move on. I want to go back to Kunle, but before we go to Kunle, what are your thoughts, Afolabi, about the race? Anything in general? Yeah,
it's the first race I would witness without Max winning. Very, very interesting.
But if you look in your early career in Formula One,
yes. But if you look at the other Grand Prix since the start of the year, Lando Norris and Piastri have been very consistent. They've been driving very, very well, and they have a good car too with McLaren. It's just a coincidence that with all this Andre Newey leaving Red Bull and Norris winning, then today again I read
that starting to crumble.
Yeah, started to crumble. Then I heard that their sporting director is stalling on his new contract that he may leave too. All these things are coming together at the worst time for Red Bull.
So, but can I say one thing about Red Bull? Yes. We have to give Red Bull credit because before we go to Kunle, Tsunoda did a great job in Hulkenberg. That's a Red Bull team, and they did very well in this competition. What do you think attests for that, Kunle? Yeah. So Kunle, go ahead.
I don't know. I was actually going to say this was the first race that was first good race of the season. That was actually a bit. It was exciting,
very competitive,
and also
competitive.
There was no people. Nobody got lapped. Only one car went.
And there was
out,
a lot of racing. There was a lot of racing.
A lot of racing everywhere. People were not getting away from each other. It was more like what you wanted to see from a Formula One race.
Yeah.
And you didn't see, it wasn't a Red Bull 1-2 as usual. Ferrari was spaced out all over the place. Alonso was doing his usual thing, but he didn't really do very well. I think he didn't finish. He was trying to finish
seventh, which is good. He came 7th. That's good for him.
Yes.
Because it means he's supposed to come 9th or 10th based on the car, but he came 7th.
I noticed him was when he fought all the way back.
No, Alonso finished 9th. Alonso finished
9th.
It was Yuki.
9th. I thought he was 7th.
Because I think Russell finished behind.
Russell finished ahead of Alonso.
Finished
okay. But he still did okay. But he kind of struggled during qualifying and sprints and stuff. Yeah.
You're gonna have to watch out for that ass though. They're getting faster.
Who?
That ass.
Aston Martin. A ton of ass.
Lewis was all over that ass in the sprint.
Yeah.
It was all over the ass in the. But they're getting faster. They're beginning to they like that middle of their about 10th, but they're getting a bit faster. I just don't like the recklessness of the driving of both drivers. Both drivers, I don't know why.
They're desperate because they're pushing the car like Senna did. They're pushing their car because they have no choice, like Senna. What do you think, Bjorn? Then we get back to you, Bjorn. What do you think? Yeah.
Is it for the half?
No, for Aston Martin.
Yes, for that half.
Aston Martin. Okay, I think for Aston Martin.
Yeah. What we're saying, he said that Aston Martin is reckless. I said they have to be because they have to push their car like
that Haas was reckless.
Oh, Haas, the driver. Okay.
Yes, it was Haas.
Team, both cars.
Haas is
both cars.
Is a team that is struggling for any points they can get, and you could see how the team game came into play during the sprint when Magnussen was obstructing Hamilton from overtaking, like what Checo did to Hamilton in 2021.
Get rid of that Haas.
It was more like a battle, and
you can't do without that Haas.
Kevin Magnussen is one driver on the track that does not like for you to overtake him. He forces you, he push his elbow out during the track.
I saw that several times.
You have to push him nearly to even get an accident for you to overtake Kevin Magnussen. So most drivers on the track are quite aware of his notorious and angry, aggressive behavior on the track. But once he knows that he has that pace to match you, he will give you enough run for the money before you overtake him, and that was what happened. But I think they has definitely, you know what, they are fighting for every point now in Formula One. They are in competition with RB, they are in competition with Kick.
And also Alpine.
They are in competition with the
Alpine is the worst car
competing
with Alpine.
Haas is competing actually for me.
So they are looking for any maximum points as possible they can get.
That means that they need to survive unless they get they'll get relegated. They'll get relegated out of Formula One. Yeah.
Well, I saw Haas is competing now better with Aston Martin and the Mercedes. And the Toro Rossos were quite good yesterday as well.
Tsunoda.
Ricciardo was quite competitive.
And Hulkenberg.
There's no more Toro Rosso.
Ricciardo. Sorry, I don't know why I said Hulkenberg. But Tsunoda and Ricciardo, they're doing better. And I think that's because it's Red Bull. Yeah. It has to do with their aerodynamics and their balance. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you think, Bjorn? Yeah.
They also have the Red Bull engine, don't they? They're using the Red Bull engine.
Yeah, and also Red Bull design. Red Bull design. Yeah.
Yeah, the RB team. They are no more Toro Rosso. They are no more Toro Rosso. They are RB now. So they are the junior team of Red Bull. So they the Red Bull.
They still have the bull. They still have the bull thing on their emblem.
Yes. But they just changed their name. Yeah, to RB.
Okay, but guys, this has been a very great show. We're not over yet, but we want to switch pace now and talk more about Newey. So I'll start with you, Afolabi. Where do you think Newey is going to go? Yeah,
it looks very likely it's going to be Ferrari. I may be wrong though.
Okay,
but I think it's Ferrari. But like we discussed the other time, it will add more value to Mercedes now because structurally it would improve that car, and that's where his genius is really not really about the engine. Mercedes-Benz has traditionally been an engine guru. But structurally, he would help them to, upgrade their car. But I feel it will be Ferrari. But it's not the omen. The omen is not quite good. If another Grand Prix, Grand Prix goes and Max doesn't win, people will start to put 1 and 2 together and feel it's the exit.
No, but I think, I think Max will be okay this year, but I think the gap is beginning to close with Red Bull with top speed. Yeah,
I'm a bit surprised. I think Adrian Newey is leaving Red Bull because of what happened with Horner and his issues with Verstappen.
That is part of the reason.
And Verstappen is being caught. Yes. But there's another reason why he's leaving.
But if you look at it, 18 years is a long time. It's a very long time.
By Mercedes. So it wouldn't really make sense for Newey to now go to Mercedes along with when he knows that Verstappen could be there. So I also think that I'm more confident that they're going to go to Ferrari. Ferrari has already started watching Adrian Newey. They said he's not even on.
And also, Newey has been saying for years that he wants to go there. But here's what I'll say before we go to Biodun. Biodun, you wanted to make a point. But what I will say is that if Newey is going to Ferrari, that means he's going to be Leclerc's mentor. And Lewis Hamilton just has 1 or 2 years and it's over. What do you have to say, Biodun? Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yes, we all know why Adrian Newey is leaving, but one primary thing that's come out in the media recently is that Adrian Newey is unhappy at Red Bull because he does not get the credit he deserves. He says
they're phasing him out. They're phasing him out.
They don't recognize his effort and they don't give him the accurate credit that he deserves in the Red Bull team because Christian Horner tends to give those credits more to the engineers of the team. But Horner is coming out to say, I'm the one that designed this car, I'm the one that do some of this design flow and make this car perform the way it is. So Red Bull management are saying that they think they can do without Adrian Newey, and now that he wants to leave, they are now shaking in their bones.
So Biodun, I'm going to continue with it, and this goes to what I've been saying long before. I don't have proof. I believe Christian Horner is narcissistic, and he thinks he can take credit with the engineers and as the person. And they keep saying, "Oh, Newey is only a consultant now. He's not really the most important part."
Yeah.
And it's consistent with Adrian Newey wanting to be the center of that team.
Yeah.
Trying to fire someone after they made accusations against you, even though it's false or true, he seems to be vindictive. And I think it's going to backfire on him because even now, as we are watching, Red Bull is losing ground already. And by next year, I think they're going to lose more ground. What do you think for Biodun?
100%. I think Horner has not been able to manage the issues in the Red Bull garage very well. I think this clearly shows the difference between his ability as a team principal as well as look in contrast with Mercedes when Toto Wolff was handling Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. You see that if someone like Christian Horner has those two drivers with him, he would have trouble managing them. And it clearly shows that Christian Horner is
I'm going to pause you again. So this is going to make me give credit to Toto Wolff, who's quiet. He's the opposite of Horner. Yeah. He's very quiet. And when I was between Lewis Hamilton and Rosberg, nobody had favorites. Yeah. He let them drive. So now I'm beginning to see the wisdom in Wolff. And I will be so happy if Adrian Newey could go there. But yeah, continue, Biodun, and then we'll go to Kunle.
Yeah, so Spotter, I think this is just going to be a slippery slope for Red Bull. They are going to use it.
Yeah, I think
from next season you will see it more. And once the decline is very evident, you see Max Verstappen.
Yeah, and by next season, I'm predicting that it will be a 50-50 between Red Bull and Ferrari.
No, next season, I'm telling you, Red Bull will not be world champion.
But by the next season, Ferrari will be ahead. 2 years, Ferrari will be ahead of Red Bull and McLaren too. If it continues like this,
I don't think it's going to take 2 years. I don't think it's going to take
1 year. Yeah.
Okay.
Really, for the first time, I won't even argue with you. I'm just being kind. But you're right.
I think Red Bull are going to go come down on a steep hill. Ferrari have a history of no matter what happens, they can come back in any season. They don't need a long time.
Oh yeah, they're a classical team. They're a classical team.
They're always there or thereabouts. I mean, they're coming second and fourth. They don't need that much more to take Adrian Newey from their biggest competitor and take a potential.
And also, real quick. Also, in the same
individuals, they could.
So Kunle, also continue, but in the same category, McLaren, and they're also on the rise.
Yeah.
McLaren and Ferrari are class organizations. Continue. Yeah.
Yes, but I think Ferrari are on the charge trying to get new.
Yeah, they're better. But I'm just saying that McLaren is also a class organization.
Yes, they're going to try to scout some other top. And I think Hamilton is going to be there for another 5 years. I don't think he's going to do 2.
I think he may win one more, but I think Leclerc, I think it'll be a good battle between Leclerc and Hamilton.
I think he brings so much to the sport. He brings so much to the sport outside the competitive nature of it. He brings so much attraction to the sport, and the minorities that he brings. So I think that he might he might be less, like how Michael Schumacher was driving a slightly less competitive car in his last few years. I think that something like that will happen with Hamilton. He might do 2 or 3 years in Ferrari. If he starts messing up or not winning in Ferrari inside of those 2 or 3 years, he'll go to a slightly slower car, maybe a Toro Rosso or an Alpine or that ass,
I think that's Kool-Aid, as Mike Tyson would say. Kool-Aid, as Mike Tyson would say, that's hot. Yeah.
So I think it'd be more. I think that Ferrari are trying. The Formula One in general, they're trying to make the sport more attractive, more exciting to watch. And I think that they need to find another minority driver to keep the interest in the sport before Hamilton's gone.
Tsunoda. Maybe Tsunoda.
Think that they would want to do something.
Maybe Tsunoda.
Well, he's not minority enough.
Yeah. China is a superpower.
Sonoda is Japanese, actually.
Japan, yeah. So Japan. Sorry, I made the mistake.
Japanese. You that is Chinese.
Yeah, I made a mistake. Sorry, China. Sorry, China. It's like calling somebody from Nigeria, Cameroonian.
But we had the Chinese on the circuit.
Yeah, we did. He wasn't there.
Yeah,
so
maybe someone that looks more like us. Let me put it that way when I say minorities. I hope that I'm not going to
Bellingham.
But
guys,
I just wanted to say also, I think we are not giving enough credit to Andre Stella, the team principal of McLaren. He has done a superb job.
Very good job. Very good job.
Young guys. And
very good strategy in their last race.
In a couple of races, I just wanted to see a great job from him. As an American, he's not always giving much credit that he decided to motorsport, but I think
because they say Americans don't like Formula One, or as Kool-Aid says, football, not soccer.
Football.
And lastly, I just wanted to point out, guys. I think I don't know if any of you.
I'm not dressed correctly for them today because we have a minor issue of Crystal Palace in the next
tonight.
30 minutes. Kicking off.
We're gonna move on.
This is why I'm not quite Formula One.
Don't worry.
Oh no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't worry. I have the Formula One cap. What's that in Yoruba where it says, look the other way? What's the word again? What's that thing you said in Yoruba where you put the cap to the side?
Mawumbe.
Yes, I have it already. I have it here. Okay. So Afolabi, any closing notes, Afolabi? And also, I want to thank you guys. This is a great show, and this is one of our greatest episodes. Thank you very much.
Sorry, can I say something before Afolabi closes the show?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to say if you guys noticed how Max raced yesterday. We saw a couple of inconsistencies from Max.
No, he made a mistake on the cones, on the bends.
He made a couple of mistakes in the cones, missing some apex during the race line and missing his race line. There were a couple of I think this performance for Max last weekend was kind of the worst performance we've seen from Max.
Yeah, I think his car is so fast and so sweet that he's no longer driving.
So I think it's quite worrying to see.
He always has his
we can't really say if
hold on, let him finish. And then finish first, Bill, and then Afolabi will jump in.
So I don't know whether many are saying maybe it's because of the imbalance and the rift in between the Red Bull garage is starting to affect Max
maybe
performance.
There's an imbalance problem, and the imbalance problem is a problem with design. You're right.
So it's quite worrying to see the three-time world champion struggling in race. And you could see that he couldn't even do anything in terms of catching up.
Yeah, and before, that's
quite worrying. And
before we go to Afolabi, Perez 317 kilometers per hour on the straights. Both both McLaren drivers, 318, 317. Verstappen on the straight, 308. And they said it's because of the balance problem, so they gave him more wing. And this is confirming what you're saying. That starts Biru, and then we'll go to Afolabi. Yeah.
I think it's spot on. It's just clear that Red Bull is no longer the Red Bull that we know. And going into the European circuits now, it's quite worrying because the European circuits, you need to be spot on for your car to perform 100% and for you to get the desired results.
And here's what I believe. And here's what I believe. Once this guy said he's leaving, Nui. He has people on that team that are loyal to him, and all of a sudden there will be a precipitous decline in that team's performance. And now we will know that is because of Nui. They keep saying that Nui is only consulted now with Red Bull, and also Helmut Marko, and now we're seeing it. So thank you very much, Biru, and thank you, Kunle. Well, you guys gave us good insight.
You were still at the racetrack. I think. Yes.
Go ahead, Kunle. Go ahead. Yeah. Can you hear me, Kunle? You can finish off, Kunle. I
was going to say that I think that what happened with I think that what happened with Verstappen and with Red Bull is possibly the politics of Newey leaving and all the tensions. Those things played a small impact in just affecting their performance this race.
Yes,
I think that psychologically,
you're right.
Those little issues are what caused them to just lose a bit of the edge. Because, I mean, the difference in the fast, there's only 1 or 2 miles an hour difference. You don't need to completely lose it to fall
even
back.
0.05
so I
seconds
think that some of the problems with Adrian, that politic. Yes, that politic is, but I think that Red Bull will bounce back when they get back into Europe.
Yeah, I do think so.
I think also that rain hit circuits will also produce different winners. Because Verstappen, to my mind, is not the best.
No, he's not.
In the rain.
Alonso and Hamilton. Alonso Hamilton.
Not so good in the rain.
Alonso and Hamilton are good in rain.
The rain.
Yeah. And also Tsunoda.
They love the rain, and I'm sure there will be some rain in Europe in some of the circuits. I'm looking forward to it. I'd like to see more sprints and less practice sessions.
This is better. The sprint is better.
Used for qualification. It's so much more exciting than the practice.
It is,
session.
So quickly,
this entire weekend of Formula One was so much fun.
Oh yeah. So quickly, Biarun, are you enjoying the sprints rather than the traditional continual practices? Yeah.
No, the sprint is an initiative that was introduced in 2021. And to kind of get more excitement in the sport, and
I think it has
money in purchasing tickets. I think it's quite good. It's still the same level of free practice in every circuit. Yeah, 30 to 3 free practice before the sprint and before the main race. It's just that once you have the sprint, you have less race lap during the main race. But it's just an alternative to get
and also for guys like Verstappen who do simulation at home. They don't need as much free practice yet.
They can reduce the practice sessions. They can reduce the practice sessions because you still have qualifying for sprints. So just reduce the practice
I like this. And also it adds more chaos to the finals because now you have to rely on tactics and stuff. You can't just say, oh, we're going to do 4 practices.
But I think reducing the practice session will not be good because, this car is a lot of technology and tech involved in the car. They need to understand the car, make a couple of changes after use. If it's
make it more.
So the
performance of the car in free practice one,
it's the same handicap for everyone.
No, the performance of the car in free practice 1, free practice 2, free practice 3 are quite different. You can see that from the study of what they've seen from the data they see for free practice 1, the times improve in free practice 2. From the data they see in free practice 2, the time improve in free practice 3.
So here's what I would say.
I think the handicap is the same for everyone, though.
It makes a difference.
Everybody will suffer.
I think doing the FP is better for teams that use more technology. But here's what I would say. So let's just keep it at 3 or 4 races a year for sprint race, and then the rest of the year. That's a good compromise, don't you think so?
That which is currently that is what is
let's keep it like I think it's but at least now we love because I've noticed everywhere they have sprint races. There's more racing even in the final. So let's go. I want to thank you guys. You guys have done a very good job. We've been around for 2 months and we're doing well. We're young and we want people to keep on watching us and to look at Formula One fanatics out of global sports. Very great work from everybody. We're going to end with Afolabi. Any last thoughts? I think the break is coming soon. very soon in June. Yeah, go ahead, Afolabi. Yeah.
Yeah, just to mention the fact that Red Bull needs to put their house in order as quickly as possible. It's obvious now that Adrian Newey is going. So whoever it is, I think it's the French engineer, Pierre Wash, that was promoted to like his level, and they reduced the influence of Adrian Newey. I think that's part of why he's even annoyed and he's leaving. He became less and less influential on the engineering team. And like you rightly mentioned, a lot of his mentees on that engineering team would want to leave with him too. So they need to put their house in order. I can't imagine Max losing the next Grand Prix. It will just be downward slope from there. So
no, yeah, but to be honest, Afolabi, to be honest with you, it was a lot of things, but I think that safety car was the biggest issue. So thank you very much. So we'll end with Bjorn. That safety car was the biggest issue. What do you think?
That is in Formula One, there's what we call strategy, and strategy is a very important part of Formula One. I remember when Mercedes were dominating, strategy always, when James Vowles was their head strategist, he's the current team director of Williams. He's very excellent with strategy, and strategy plays a role. It determines whether you win or you lose a race, either you undercut or you overcut. So I think with the McLaren taking full advantage of strategy in the race and delaying that pit stop for Lando played into their hands and handed them the win, because Lando was not on the card to even win the race. But strategy is very key, and several teams also need to improve with strategy. That is one department Ferrari has always suffered in the last couple of seasons, and they need to get that.
Thank you. So I have one more question. Can anybody answer this? When is the next race? Is it 2 weeks from now or what? Yeah.
No, I think it's next weekend.
Not next week. I just checked my timetable.
Next weekend is in Imola, Italy, Imola.
But it's not on DSTV. I went through my list on DSTV. I've seen Monaco and Imola for MotoGP, but I didn't see.
No, the next Formula One race is in Imola.
But when will it be? 2 weeks or 1 week?
Okay, that should be.
Imola is not next weekend.
This weekend coming, not this weekend.
Yeah, this coming weekend. Yes.
This coming week. How come it's not on the race schedule?
Let me check. I'll type it. You guys talk. I'm going to find it now. Yeah, Imola.
And then it's on the 19th. Sorry, it's on the 19th.
Okay. Okay. So everybody, we're going to see.
Time. Thank you.
2 weeks. So everybody. Okay. So once again, I want to thank Bjorn, who's our technical wizard. I want to thank Kunle Williams.
I finally got a fact right that Bjorn got wrong, because it's normally
for the first time. Only the first time. But I like Bjorn because when I have an intuition, he finds it out. And also, we want to say much love to Afolabi, who has only been following Formula One for 3 months and has become an expert. Afolabi, take us out for the weekend. Take us out. Yeah.
Okay.
Just end it for us in a Shakespearean manner.
Like, follow, share, subscribe, guys. Thank you.
It's been and everything. Talking Formula One with you guys again. Like and subscribe at Formula One Fanatics. See you again at the next Grand Prix. Thank you very much.
And also, guys, at the beginning of the recording, I'm going to add like and subscribe to. Thank you, all of you guys. And when I say this, I'm not joking. I love you guys, and we're going to continue. We're heading to the top. One day, we'll even surpass Peter Windsor. Good night, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.